Namaha.
And then wash it. Take the water again. Om Narayana Namaha. Wash it again. Om Narayana Madhavaya Namaha.
Sarvavashtam Tatopiva Yatsmaret Udarikaksham Sa Vaya Avyantaraha Shuchahi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Change the neck beads. What? Yeah, they should put the new neck beads on, and then we'll give a lecture.
Can I request people who to come and change the neck beads to Prabhuji and
You have the new neck beads? And they should have mallas on too. So. And I should have a mala too. So.
And also put up a garland on, and while they're doing it, please.
This is going to get complicated. Wait a second. Okay, so Om Ganat Tivirandasha Gananjana Shivakaya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder of Charya Viskan, who opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance, and by whose mercy we are all here today. Without Srila Prabhupada's mercy, there would be no Krishna consciousness movement in the Western world or anywhere in the world. And Srila Prabhupada is Lord Chaitanya's Senapati, conquering general, who was sent directly by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Shri Krishna to change the face of the world. Okay. So today we are celebrating Vaishnava Diksha, two types of initiation. One is first initiation and the other one is second. First initiation is known as Harinam initiation. Second is known as Gayatri initiation or Brahman initiation. So first of all, I'm going to talk about what the essence of initiation is. Actually, maybe we'll talk first about the importance of today, apart from being an initiation. It is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. And so we'll talk about his initiation. So first we'll talk about who Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is. Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is a member of the Panchatattva, the 5 personalities who appeared a little over 500 years ago to preach the Yuga Dharma. And Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is Srimati Radharani, coming down to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So of course, Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nohi Anya. Krishna appearing in the mood of Radharani. And then you have Lord Nityananda, Balaram, Hoyle Nitai, who is the same as Balaram. And then you have Advaita Acharya, who is Sadashiva, Mahavishnu. So these 3 personalities are Vishnu Tattva. And then you have Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, who is Shakti Tattva, Srimati Radharani. And then you have Shivas Thakur, who is Narada Muni representing Jiva Tattva. So the Tattva means the essential categories, eternal categories of entities. Try to remember that. And the Jiva Tattva never becomes Vishnu Tattva, and the Shakti Tattva never becomes Vishnu Tattva. And the Shakti Tattva doesn't become Jiva Tattva, and the Jiva Tattva doesn't become Shakti Tattva. So everyone stays within their own Tattvas. Okay? And the Jiva Tattva means Krishna, Vishnu Shakti, Para Prakta, Kshetrakyatya, Tata Para, Avidya Karma Sanganya, Tritira Shakti Ishite. The Jiva Tattva is the marginal potency. Marginal potency means we have the ability to go here or there, or here or there. Back to Godhead or stay within the material world. So these devotees who take an initiation are trying to change their aspirations from matter to spirit. And that's one of the purposes of initiation. So as far as Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is concerned, he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his early pastimes in Navadvip. Navadvip, Mayapur, is where Lord Chaitanya appeared, and Gadadhar Pandit Goswami was one of Lord Chaitanya's schoolmates. And as one of Lord Chaitanya's schoolmates, he would get upset with Lord Chaitanya. Now, this is also an initiation story. Why did he get upset with Lord Chaitanya? Because before Lord Chaitanya took initiation, he was simply displaying the pastime of being interested in argumentation, which in India is called Nyaya. Nyaya means logic. Just like in the West, we have this thing called Aristotelian logic. Things like axioms, things equal to the same thing or equal to each other. That's an axiom. Anyway, I'm not going to get into discussing logic today. But Lord Chaitanya showed that before you take initiation, you have no knowledge. You may have knowledge about material things. You may know how to fix a car, you may know how to program a computer, you may know how to do so many things, but you don't have spiritual knowledge, which is the most important type of knowledge. Other types of knowledge is simply eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Those 4 types of material knowledge. Whereas spiritual knowledge, Tadviganartam Sadgurumeva Vigache, is knowledge of Sambandha, Avideya, Prayojana. Who we are, who God is, what this material energy is, and what the spiritual energy is, and the relationships between all of them. Avideya means how to transcend this world, and Prayojana means the perfection, what happens when you transcend this world. So Lord Chaitanya, showing us the importance of initiation, did not display his qualities as the Supreme Lord or as the Supreme Lord's devotee in the mood of Srimati Radharani until he took initiation. So Gadadhar would sometimes ask him, he said, "Oh, Pandit, why don't you take up Krishna consciousness?" And Lord Chaitanya, whose name was Nimai Pandit, said that actually you'll see one day I will become a better devotee than that of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva will offer their obeisances to me. So imagine if some devotee said that. Said, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma will offer obeisances to me? You got trouble there. So Gadadhar was thinking, he's in Maya. So, eventually Lord Chaitanya took initiation in Gaya from Ishwara Puri, who was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And then Lord Chaitanya exhibited his ecstatic love for Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, even though he was Krishna. And then Gadadhar would never leave his side after that. In fact, Gadadhar, after that, protected Lord Chaitanya. Because one time Lord Chaitanya was feeling so much ecstasy and separation from Krishna. Jugayatam nimishena chakshusha pravashayatam shunyayatam jagat sarvam govinavitahename. That Lord Chaitanya began to tear at his chest. Why did he tear at his chest? Because he asked Gadadhar, where is Krishna? And Gadadhar said, Krishna's in your heart. And so he said, I have to see Krishna. And he began to tear at his chest. And Gadadhar held his hands. He said, don't do that. Not a very good idea. So at that point, Lord Chaitanya's mother, Sachimata, said, Gadadhar, you always have to stay with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, he did. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he went, after some time, to Jagannath Puri. And Gadadhar wanted to go with him. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, you can't come. But still, when the devotees went to Jagannath Puri, he went to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But actually, even before that, I wanted to tell the story about Gadadhar's initiation. Gadadhar Pandit Goswami was not initiated originally when he was young. So once upon a time, Gadadhar Pandit Goswami he wasn't Goswami then, but Gadadhar was invited by his friend Mukunda to see this great devotee named Pundarik Vijayanidhi. So Pundarik Vijayanidhi, just to give you a little hint, is the incarnation of Vrishabhanu. For those of you who don't know who Vrishabhanu is, that's Radharani's father. So in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, you will find that different devotees, no bells, please. No bells and no ankle bells, please. So, in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, you will find that different devotees are explained as being the same devotees in Krishna's pastimes. There's an interesting book, the Gaura Ganadesh Dipika, that explains this. So, Pundarik Vijayanidhi was Vrishabhanu, the father of Srimati Radharani. So one time, Mukunda, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, invited Gadadhar, please come and see this great devotee. But Pundarik Vijayanidhi was from a very wealthy family, and he was sitting on a very opulent bed with silk and chewing pan. And he was wearing silk clothes. Generally, if you see a devotee living so opulently, you think, something's wrong with him. Of course, a devotee can live opulently. Many people have the misunderstanding that when you become a devotee, you become a sannyasi. We see this sometimes. Some of our members, they want to take initiation, for example, and their family says, no, you can't do that. You'll become a sannyasi. And you're very young still. No, it's not the right time. Even their wives may say that. Don't take initiation, dear, because you'll become a sannyasi. No, but if one takes up Krishna consciousness, they can live in a big house, or a small house, or a tiny house. But he lives in a tiny house. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Stane stata shrutigatam tanvan manovir. One just remains in the same situation. You don't have to change. Not necessary. So anyway, so this Pundarik Vijayanidhi was sitting on an opulent bed, and Gadadhar saw him and thought, he's in Maya. He's not such a good devotee. But Mukunda, his associate, who was an excellent singer, began to sing a verse, or several verses, from the Bhagavatam, and when he began to sing those verses, Pundarik Vijayanidhi fell into a swoon of ecstasy. This is called Sanchari Bhava, or Vyabhachari Bhava. And then Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, or Gadadhar Pandit at that time, recognized that person was a great devotee and he had committed a great offense. Because when you think a great devotee is a materialist, you're committing an offense. That's the first offense on chanting. Don't blaspheme or offend the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. So he thought the only way to mitigate, to eradicate that offense, is to take initiation from them. So he waited until Pundarik Vijayanidhi came back into external consciousness, and he said, please, let me become your disciple. And Pundarik Vijayanidhi said, only after many births does one get a disciple like this. I've never said that about any of my disciples. Maybe in the opposite way, anyway. So in any case, he did take initiation from Pundarik Vijayanidhi, which is that same relationship. Remember, Pundarik Vijayanidhi is Radharani's father, and Gadadhar is Srimati Radharani. Interesting. So, then Gadadhar Pandit went to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And in Jagannath Puri, he took the vow of Kshetra Sannyas, which means he would stay there and serve the deities. So the way he got his deity is very interesting. Once upon a time, this is a story probably none of us heard, the Lord Chaitanya was with Gadadhar Pandit Goswami at that point in Jagannath Puri and says, Gadadhar, dig in the ground here. You'll find something very interesting. So he began to dig in the ground, and he found this beautiful deity of Krishna, who was later called Tota Gopinath. It's a new story. I don't think anyone's heard that story before. And that deity, he dedicated his life to serving, the Tota Gopinath deity. And that deity was very tall, and Gadadhar was able to take care of him. But as Gadadhar Pandit Goswami got older, he wasn't able to take care of the deity, because it's hard when you get older to take care of a tall deity. So he was thinking that he had to give up his deity worship. Then, one morning he opened up the curtains, Govinda Madhipurasham Tamaham Bhajami, and the deity was sitting. Amazing. That's called the Tota Gopinath deity. That deity is still there in Jagannath Puri. And then the deity allowed him to take care of this. Krishna's sitting. He's playing his flute, normal posture, but he's sitting down. Amazing. So if you have so much devotion for Krishna, Krishna can do things like that for you. There's other stories of other great devotees. One devotee, Raghunandana, he was a little kid. He had so much devotion. He didn't know any of the mantras to serving the deities. He just cried in front of the deities, and the deities got off the altar and ate. Another devotee didn't have any family members to do the Shraddha ceremonies, and the deity agreed to do it after he passed away. Pretty good. That's nice. So Krishna becomes your putra, becomes your son. So, while he was in Jagannath, this is another story of the importance of remaining faithful to the spiritual master, and then we'll get on with initiation. While he was at Jagannath Puri, he went to Lord Chaitanya and said, I've actually forgotten how to chant my mantra, because those who are taking second initiation, they get some mantras called Gayatri mantras. And he said to Lord Chaitanya, could you give me the mantra again? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, this is very bad. You can only take from your guru. Eventually, Pundarik Vijayanidhi came to Jagannath Puri, and then he heard the mantra again. So this is also an indication of being faithful to our spiritual master, and faithful to Srila Prabhupada, and faithful to Srila Prabhupada's movement. Srila Prabhupada is our ultimate Siksha Guru. So that faithfulness can sometimes be equated to the faithfulness that a wife has towards the husband, a good wife, not a bad wife. Sometimes people come and they say, I'd like you to meet my good wife, and I said, where's the bad one? So in the Bhagavatam, it describes that a wife, when their husband passes away, is ready to leave this world. Not that you should do that. Don't do it. That Satyavrat is forbidden nowadays. But anyway, that's the consciousness. In the same way, the disciple is so dedicated to the spiritual master and to the mission of the spiritual master, even when the spiritual master is not present. For example, in my own life, my whole life is dedicated to serving Prabhupada's mission. You know, previously today someone asked me, why do we have initiation? And I said, the initiation is important because it's a vow of dedication to the mission. It's a lifetime vow. It's not just that you get your Hare Krishna name, oh, now I can join the club. Like you get your special, you join a club, you get a special ring to put on your finger, secret handshake. You ever see that thing, a secret handshake? And all sorts of different things. You get special tilak. No, it means it's a promise of dedication. So those who are taking initiation today, of course the word initiation means begin. But what does it mean to begin? You're already chanting. You're already following the four regulated principles. But you're beginning and you're saying to Krishna, from this day forward, I am yours. Nothing belongs to me. Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha avyatma nitya vinivritta kama. As Krishna says in the 15th chapter of the Gita. From this day forward, everything is yours, Krishna. Manasa deha deha yokishimor abrilam tuya pade nanda kishore. My mind, my body, my home, my wife, my husband, my children. What else? My car. What else? My computer. I said, oh, phone, mobile phone too. I left that one out. Everything is yours. In other words, I'm just borrowing everything, even my intelligence, my brain, my body. I'm just borrowing it from you. I don't have the right to use it for myself anymore. Just like if you borrow someone's car for his own purpose. Let's say you're a chauffeur. You know what a chauffeur is? Driver. We call it driver. Like in India, everyone has a driver. He's my driver. He sleeps in the car and everything like that. So I know that. I spend a lot of time in India. So let's say your driver takes your car and he goes to the disco or he goes here. Is that good? No, you fire him. So we're like driving something we're borrowing from Krishna. That's the meaning of initiation. You're recognizing who owns everything. Isha, Vashu, Idam, Sarvam, Yatkancha, Jagajam, Jagat, Tena Chiptena Bunjada, Madhurha, Kasha, Svid, Kana. Everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He's letting us, giving us a quota. Some people have a bigger quota than others. Don't get envious. Someone has a bigger house, a smaller house, tiny house again. That's your quota. That's what you're meant to have. Less mortgage, too. Like he has a tiny house, he doesn't have to worry about mortgage or anything. He's free as a bird. So, and actually he's given his wife to Krishna. Right? No more your property. It belongs to Krishna. So anyway, so that's the essence of initiation. So the two types of initiation we have today, like I mentioned before, the first and second, Harinam, and then Brahman Diksha, and I'll explain that in brief. Harinam Diksha means that one is initiated to chanting the holy names. Of course, previous to taking initiation, you're also chanting, hopefully. There is some requirement about that. And but one is making a promise. Like in high-class society, promises are considered inviolable. That means you don't break them. Like Grandfather Bhishma made a promise. He didn't break it. So that's, or like Ram. Ram has one word, one arrow, and one life. We should be like Ram. Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Perfect example. So when you make a promise, and who are you making the promise to? For myself, the Vaishnavas, the fire, the deities. Got a lot of people you're making promises to. And Krishna will make sure you comply with those promises. Like that story of Shakshi Gopal, where Krishna walked all the way across India to make sure that an older Brahmin would comply with a marriage promise he made to a younger Brahmin. So we are asking, or I am asking Krishna, make sure these people comply with their promises. You're a witness. Krishna, you're a witness. I mean, just like that story. You know the story. He said, Krishna, you're a witness. Make sure these people comply with their promises. So Krishna's watching you. He's not just on the altar. Vishwara Sarvabhutanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati. He's in everyone's heart. So he will make sure you comply with your promises, or else. I'm not going to tell you what else is, but it's not so nice. So anyway, comply with your promises. You're making these promises. It's very important. What are you promising to do? First initiation, of course. Follow the 4 regulated principles. No meat, fish, eggs, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no kava. For those of you from Fiji. And I'm sure we have devotees here from Fiji. And you're promising to chant minimum 16 rounds every day. And you're attempting to avoid the 10 offenses on chanting, which I'll mention very quickly because Prabhupada always mentioned them. First offense is the blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. Instead of blaspheming, you should praise them, serve them, become their servants. That's actually good. And the second offense is to consider the names of the demigods, like worship the Lord Brahma, Indra, Vayu, whatever, to be equal to the holy name of Lord Vishnu. Not only the name's not equal, but the persons are not equal, because Ekali Ishvara Krishna is only one God. And another thing is, the names of the demigods are different from the persons. And the name of Krishna is the same as Krishna. That's the difference. And so, of course, I never had that trouble before, because I came from the Western world. But Prabhupada said sometimes when you're trying to teach people who think they know something, it's harder to teach people who think they know something than to teach people who don't know anything. Prabhupada gave the example of learning to play the piano. If you taught yourself and you think you know how to play the piano, but you never had professional instruction, then you charge more money if you're a piano teacher to teach that person to play the piano. So for those of you from Fiji or India, you know, demigods, all glories. We don't disrespect the demigods. And you know your family's going to say, oh, you're going to be in trouble because you're not worshiping the demigods. Oh, you got a cold because you didn't worship the demigods. You know, so many things they say. But actually, if you serve Krishna, that takes care of all the demigods. It's like watering the root of the tree. So, a third offense is to disobey the order of the spiritual master. And of course, not to follow blindly, but the spiritual master is speaking on behalf of Krishna. And we have Prabhupada as the ultimate source. We're all meant to stay within ISKCON, serving Prabhupada with our life and soul. That's my instruction. The disciples asked me, what's the best thing I can do to serve Prabhupada's mission? That's all. You know, if anyone asked me, do you need anything, Guru Maharaj? I said, yes, I need you to serve Prabhupada's mission. For your whole life, dedicate your life. And that means to help others, bring others to the International Society of Krishna Consciousness and Prabhupada's mission. So the next offense is to blaspheme Vedic literatures. Don't do it. Or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version. In any culture, don't blaspheme any religious literature in any culture that glorifies God. That's it. Next offense is to consider the glories of chanting to be imagination. And actually, as I said, they're not. Krishna is there in his holy names. The holy name, when chanted by a pure devotee, goes right to the heart and gives one the bhakti lata beads and changes one's life. My experience was that I first heard the holy names from Srila Prabhupada on the radio. You all know what a radio is? Oh, sorry, that dates me, you know. And radio is a little device that picks up signals. So on the radio, in 1960, 8 or 9. And as soon as I heard the name, it changed my whole life. I heard so many other songs. Nothing changed my life. But that name, Hare Krishna, and then I became a devotee. Wow, very potent. So you hear the name from a pure devotee. So the name is not imagination. And don't give any crazy interpretation of the holy name. Like by chanting, you become happy because it causes the alpha waves to counteract the beta waves or whatever. Don't think like that. I know sometimes devotees do studies like that. It's not really appropriate. The holy name is transcendental. Purnashu Nityamukto Vinatvam Namanamano. And the next offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting. Because when you chant, you get rid of all the bad karma, it flies away. But don't drink kava and chant. You know, that people go to the mandalis, right? And they chant Ram Ram Sita Ram Raghupati Raghava Sita Ram. Okay, time for the kava. That's the offense on chanting. Right there. So behave yourself. You know, so it doesn't work. If you chant with the idea of getting rid of all your bad karma, it's not going to work. Krishna's not stupid. You can't fool Krishna. Oh, Krishna, Hare Krishna. No. Krishna says, you rascal, neither you can cheat me. Krishna's cheating all of us. He's making us think we're these bodies. That's a big cheat. Right? We're walking around with this body. I am a Kiwi, or I am an Indian, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. Krishna's just hypnotized you. It's like you've gone to some professional hypnotist and he tells you you're a dog and you start barking. Isn't it? I've seen that maybe on the stage hypnotist, he says, all right, you're a dog. Like that. And so Krishna's hypnotized you. You are that body, you are that body. Krishna's material energy. You are that body. Yes, I am this body. I'm a bag, tree dhaduke, bile, mucus, and pus. This is me. Anyway, enough scatological stuff. So don't try to cheat Krishna. The next offense is to think the glory, chanting Hare Krishna is like what? An auspicious ritualistic activity, karma kanja activity. It's not. It's transcendental. Next offense is to teach people or preach the glories of the holy name to people who are not ready to hear, people who don't have the faith. We give everybody the holy name, but don't get into the details, because if you get into too many details, people will get confused and they'll blaspheme and you'll be responsible. And the last offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of Hare Krishna and maintain material attachments. It's not offensive to be materially attached, but if you're trying to maintain them or increase them, that's the problem. Everybody's materially attached to some degree here, unless you're a pure devotee. So you try to get rid of it. That's called anartha nivritti. You think, because these material attachments are causing us pain. Why don't you want to get rid of the pain? Okay. And then also it's mentioned that it's offensive to be inattentive while chanting, because if one's not attentive while chanting, you're committing the rest of the offenses. So that's the overriding offense. Be attentive. And how can you be attentive? You should study Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtaka and have the proper prayerful mood. You should have some sankalpa when you chant. Sankalpa means an intention. Just like if you're doing a fire sacrifice, you do a sankalpa, right? Sankalpa means we're sitting here today, we're doing this fire sacrifice, it's a certain day of the week, certain day of the month, certain day, month or whatever. And so when you chant, you should think, why am I chanting? Not that I have to chant. If you're chanting with the mood that you have to chant, it's not going to be so effective. You should chant with the mood, I'm choosing to chant because, whatever your because is. I want to connect with Krishna. I want to realize I'm not the body. I want my family members to be Krishna conscious. All these different reasons. I want to please Prabhupada. I want to serve Prabhupada's mission. I want the potency to preach. There's many different reasons I can give you. So that's called the sankalpa. And then if you study Shikshastra, you'll understand this more. So that's the first initiation. Second initiation, in a nutshell, is called the Brahman initiation. That means one is really concentrating on achieving mode of goodness qualities. Mode of goodness qualities means sama, being equipoised in happiness and distress. That means always controlling Dhamma, your senses. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Pasha Vegam. Controlling the tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, and words. That's what it means. Dhamma. Dhamma means tame, to tame your senses. Because we're all being pushed by the tongue, especially the tongue. Tongue is the strongest. Dharmade Jivayati Lavamoya Sadurmati. Or by the belly, genitals, the mind, the anger. How many times do we get angry? Isn't it? Sometimes I ask devotees, do you ever get angry? Practically everyone says, yes, how did you know? That's a no-brainer. I do know. Every one of you gets angry. So you control the anger, tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, and words. And so, accepting things that are pleasing to Krishna and rejecting things that are displeasing to Krishna. Cham, being clean. Prabhupada said Brahman means clean, inside and outside. Inside by Yaksmaret Pudarigaksam, always remembering Krishna. And outside by cleaning the body. But Brahman should be revolutionary clean. Very Shocham, Shantirarjamam. One should be tolerant, religious, and also study regularly Srila Prabhupada's books, The Philosophy of Krishna Consciousness, because if you understand the philosophy, you'll be able to control your mind because you'll know the purpose of life. So, and apply the philosophy. So these are the qualities of a Brahmin. And so, until you have those qualities, you're not a real Brahmin. Just by getting the thread, this is a very cheap piece of material, isn't it? This doesn't make you a Brahmin. What makes you a Brahmin is you have the qualities. The whole, let's say, definition of the word Brahmin is he or she who knows Brahman. It's not simply a ritualistic appellation. It's he who knows Brahman and functions accordingly and cultivates the mood of goodness. So that's the meaning of initiation today, and so follow me in the footsteps of Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, who was faithful to his spiritual master, faithful to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We will proceed with the process of initiation. The next aspect is giving the names. So, let's see. So I have a list here, and we got the Hare Krishna bead bags, each with a picture. So let me pull the names out of the bead bag. I didn't pick them, Krishna picked them. I just go to the bead bag and the name comes out. No. So the process is that each person, as I call their name, will offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada first, the deities, and come here and offer respects, and then they will be asked about the four regulated principles and how many rounds a day, and take the vow in front of the deities, in front of myself, in front of Srila Prabhupada and the assembly of Vaishnavas. So, first is Kokila. Well, ahead of that. Yeah, explain to her what she's supposed to do. Let me see the next. And then, okay, and then after her will come Renganath Khan, her husband. Got to keep the bead bag straight. And after that will come Anjala Mani. And after that Vinita. So, another mallet. Thank you. Okay, you sit down. So, what are the 4 regulative principles?
16 also 4 regulative principles.
What are the 4 regulative principles?
No gambling, no illicit, no meat eating, no violence.
Very nice. Okay, so your name, you get the B's with your right hand. It's a very nice name. All the names I give are nice, of course. Actually, Kamala Lakshmi. Kamala Lakshmi. That means lotus eyes. You know, Kamala Lakshmi. That's, of course, that's Radharani. The name of Radharani. Kamala Lakshmi. You can abbreviate it as Kamala Lakshmi. Look at, here's the bead block. Okay, and her good husband. How'd it go? So those who are married, you get a new wife or a new husband. I'm just saying this. Right? Pretty good. So what are the 4 regulative principles?
No intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling.
Okay, how many rounds?
Minimum 16 rounds.
So 16 rounds every day. So you get the beads with your right hand. So your name now is Raghuveer Das. So Raghuveer, of course, is the name of Lord Ramchandra. Heroic Lord Ram. Raghuveer. That's a nice name. Okay. Next is Angela. Okay. Thank you. So, what are the 4 regulative principles? Yeah. How many rounds? 16 rounds minimum every day. Okay, so your name now, you get the beads with your right hand. Right hand is Ananda Brindavan Devi Dasi. Okay, and one more. Okay, Anita. There we go. So now your whole family is Krishna, almost. Missing one.
I think at the end of the year, hopefully.
Really? That would be nice.
That's what we're supposed to talk to you about.
Oh, good. Okay, so what, here's your feedback. So what are the 4 regulative principles?
No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling.
Okay. And how many rounds?
Minimum 16 rounds on daily and 25 rounds on Ekadashi.
Okay, so you get the beads with your right hand. Your name now, this is a nice name, these are all nice names, is Vishaka Gopi Devi Dasi. Vishaka Gopi Dasi. Gopi Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Oh yeah, forget about your feedback. I almost stole it. So. And, whoops. And then as far as those taking second initiation, I have to chant on the Brahman threads first before giving them the Brahman threads. The ladies don't get Brahman threads. Sorry. The men need Brahman threads because this helps establish their false ego in a better way. The ladies are more humble, they're more devotional, so men need to just show, I'm a Brahmin. That's why the threads are there for men. Otherwise, no need. Okay, so while you can do some of the rituals, I'm going to chant the Gayatri mantras. Oh, thank you. Hare Krishna. So the two prospective Brahmins should do the same thing. Offer obeisances to Prabhupada, the deities, come here, sit in front of myself, and you get your one after the other. Doesn't matter who goes first. Well, there's nothing for me to say. You could just give. I'm not going to give everybody the Gayatri Mantra. I'm not like Ramanujacharya. You know the story about Ramanujacharya? He got a mantra from his guru, which is Om Namo Narayanaya. And he was told by the guru, don't repeat it to anyone, because if anyone hears it, they become liberated. So it's a secret. And so immediately after he got the mantra, he stood on the highest building in the city and said, everyone chant Om Namo Narayanaya. And his guru came out and said, you have committed a great offense, you're going to hell. And he said, I'm willing to go to hell so that everyone gets liberated. But I'm not willing to go to hell so that everyone gets liberated. I have enough trouble without going to hell. Okay. You have to, offer obeisances, and then you have to untie that. And then Brahman means, of course, I mentioned what it means. Oh, you got a Brahman. Yeah, from before. Yeah, you take that one off and then put this one up. And then Brahman means doing deity worship in the temple. Haribol. So we don't have to keep importing people to do deity worship. We got our local grown people. You understand? Okay. And later on, the devotees will get their mantra after the fire sacrifice. And he's a doctor. That's all right. Put your right hand, that's the right hand, through, I'm just teasing. Put your right hand through there. Put your head. Haribol. You can sit down. What? You can offer obeisances, sit down, whatever. Okay. Jai. Haribol. Where are you going? Oh, he's going to put his dhoti on. What? No, you chant. You do the chant. Oh yeah, he has to put his dhoti on. That's the first time that's happened to me. Someone's dhoti came off. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Chant Mangalacharan prayers, and when I say Swaha, I like to request all of you, just use these three fingers and take the samagri and please offer to the fire. If it is too far, maybe you can come close if you want to, and please repeat after me. Om